Hello, everybody, and welcome. Good morning to you. It is time for Be Encouraged here on the mighty MoreJoy Media. And I have, of course, my co-host for Fridays, who hasn't been here in a few weeks. So it is so exciting and great to be able to have her on today. And she's sipping her tea in the background. I can see her. And there she is. Lesley Salmon, everybody. Hi, Lesley. How are you, darling?
Good. How are you? How is everybody today?
Yeah, I hope everybody's well because it's beautiful outside. It's not humid. It's got I drove in with my windows down and just nice coolness kind of blowing through the car. It was nice.
Awesome.
It was beautiful. So it'll probably get a little warmer as the day proceeds, but it was great. It was so much fun. So
awesome.
What have you been doing the last couple of weeks? Selling houses and showing houses and stuff?
Taking names and what's that saying? Kicking butt and taking
names. Yeah.
That's what I've been doing.
That's great. You're the one that walks into the room and says, I came here to chew bubble gum and kick ass.
Yes.
And I'm all out of bubble gum.
I'm going to do that from now on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, that's a nice cup, by the way. It's a very pretty cup.
Thank you.
The little blue flowers on it.
I like anything with flowers.
Oh, yeah. You're a flowery person.
It's girly.
It's girly. You're girly.
But I like super girly stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, but damn tough for a girly girl.
That's true.
Pretty tough for a girly girl.
I'm trying to, get more feminine energy going than masculine.
Well, it exudes femininity. Yeah, that's okay. It's a good balance. You're doing fine. So, what in the last couple of weeks, what have you come across that we can banter about back and forth? What kind of things have you encountered that have either been a struggle or been a bright light in your life?
Well, I've started really realizing how important gratitude is. I mean, I say this every week though, I think, but the more and more you do it, the more and more you see.
Yeah.
And it's not like I guess at first, whenever I was the more grateful you are, the more beauty and appreciation you see.
Sure.
I would see more positive things, but now you see it in everything.
Right. Exactly. And that's where you evolve to, kind of, right? It's an evolution of gratitude. You start being grateful for the little things, or you start being grateful for the big things, and all of a sudden you start to see all the little things that you should be grateful for as well.
Right.
Because that ultimately is, as some people have said, my friend Clark Crawford the other said, it's all about the little things. If you are able to find gratitude and grace and everything else in the small stuff, it just radiates into the big stuff. Even though most of us come at it from the other way,
right.
We're thankful for those grandeur moments that make a difference in our lives. But we start to see the little things, and then that in itself helps us to...
They make up the big thing.
They do. The little things do make up the big thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's so many little things that make up the big thing. Are we talking in code here? I'm not sure. But
Morse.
Yeah. Exactly. So anyway,
yeah, that's one thing, and I'm trying to think of what else.
How's your boy doing?
My kids are doing good.
Great.
All of them are doing. Actually, my oldest son is tomorrow. He's going to be 19. We're going to go to Busch Gardens, celebrating Busch Gardens. So that'll be fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, see how much free birthday swag you can get.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be doing that, and my daughter's graduating. So she just went to prom.
Nice.
A makeshift prom, and
right.
Yeah, and my little son started karate, and he absolutely loves it.
Does he like the discipline of it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and it was
That's
so
good.
funny because he had this like, they have these things like, the padded things that you hold up and people punch
Yeah,
them
yeah,
with
yeah.
sparring. And so the kids, they put it. I love the school because it's premier martial arts and it's Krav Maga style, so it's like a military, more street fighting style.
Okay, yeah,
But
yeah,
what's great about it is they do in the beginning. Well, first they do this 1-to-1 with the kids before they even start, and that 1-to-1 is where they set all the expectations,
sure.
which is so good, helpful, because if they just
Mhm.
get thrown in there, it's like, okay, I got to do what this guy's saying. But when they
Right.
understand the why behind it, it gives the meaning.
Yes,
So,
yes,
and it gives the value.
yes. And
And
that's yeah.
oh, sorry.
No,
But yeah, and in the beginning of it, they all start off with all these like affirmations that they yell out, and how they're going to see the positive and everything and stuff like that. And then they take that big cushion thing, that they hit and put it on the ground, and all the kids are like punching on it. And I'm thinking, gosh, where was this like 2 years ago when he was getting in trouble all the time? And
yeah, yeah.
but he gets to take all his aggression out on it. So
That's
it's
awesome.
perfect.
I tell you, one of those things I thought about years ago was building a room, and you've seen this
A
now.
padded
Bu-
cell? No.
No, well, kind of. No, building a room that has stuff in it that you can destroy. And you have,
They
and they
have
have those
those.
now. I know they do.
Yes.
But I
They
mean, I'm
showed
telling
me
you,
one.
I thought about this years ago before I ever saw one. And apparently they had them though. So it wasn't like it was my brand new, fresh idea. But I even thought about it like for NFL when those guys get frustrated on the field when someone's cheating them or hitting them wrong or whatever, and they come off the field and they can't retaliate because then they'll cause a penalty, right? But I've always said when they've got it so worked up in them, instead of causing a penalty, have a little tent like they have the nerd thing and go in there and let them beat the crap out of something, in that tent to just kind of, because I know that helps me. I love hammering stuff, and that just really helps to kind of relieve the stress of
Mhm.
the anger or whatever it is you have built up. And people say, well, you should be able to do that more constructively. Yeah, no, it is, that's the way it should be. I mean, you should be able to go outside and just go, bah!
Yeah, like just start throwing dishes everywhere and all.
Yes, wouldn't it be awesome?
I would actually love to do that. What's funny? When I was little, my parents nicknamed me the Destroyer.
I
I would
believe it.
destroy everything, all my toys.
Why can I picture you walking around destroying things? I can totally see it.
But it wasn't like when I did it, it wasn't really in an aggressive way. It was more of like I wanted to see what was inside of everything.
Yes, 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 I
So,
get it.
and
That's
I'd
right.
always, I remember I would go to my grandma's house, and every single time I would go, I would walk in the house and I would look through every single drawer. And my mom would
Yeah,
be like, "Don't do that." And my grandma would be like, "She just wants to see if I've changed anything around or where everything is." And that really was what I wanted to see.
yeah, yeah,
I just
yeah,
like to see what was inside of drawers, what was in things.
yeah, yeah. Don't hide things from me. I want everything
Yeah,
wide open out there. And I can tell by your system
no
behind you,
secrets.
everything's wide open too. There's no
Yes.
drawers. There's nothing hiding. You know where everything is. That's right. That's exactly right. That's awesome. That's so funny. I had an aunt like that myself who was like a grandmother. She was my great aunt, so she was my grandmother's age. But they had a house in Arlington, and whenever we went over there, everything was very. My mom was very. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. And I'm like, this stuff's so cool. I want to see what this looks like and how it's made and I was careful and I never broke anything, so that's cool. But
Right.
I wanted to see stuff, and my mom would do that, and my great aunt would say, "Well, I didn't put it out for people just to look at it. They can touch it. He can touch it if he
Right.
wants. He can
Yeah.
see what's in it. What's going on?" I was a little bit older then. I was like 12 or 13 at the time, and I was just into finding out how things work. I wanted to know
Yeah.
how things work.
It's
Like you
fun.
said, it's like ripping open the Stretch Armstrong. What's inside of this thing?
Yes,
You
I
know?
would always take pens apart and put them back together.
Yes,
Like
me
I love
too.
doing
Totally.
that.
That's
I
right.
felt
And
like a mechanic. I was like, oh, I'm so amazing at putting this pen back together.
or if it got stuck, you're like, oh, hey, let me fix this.
Yeah.
Undo it, pull the spring out, and do this and do that, and put it back together and say, oh, look, it works.
Right.
But you always worked it really hard so you would get stuck. Oh, it's stuck. I got to fix this.
Right.
So, yeah, and I used to fix my bike all the time. I was kind of like that, the guy who fixes up cars, Pimp My Ride. But I was pimp my bike, and people would bring their bikes by, and we would add, like, make the seat higher, because kids be riding around, since they got their bike, like 3 or 4 years later, they're still riding the same bike. And I'm like, well, and we're all like, you need to sit up higher. And we used to fix the bikes because the dads didn't do it. My dad did, but he'd see me riding around like this, and he'd like, come here, boy, and he'd fix and that's how I learned to do it, obviously, was because my dad fixed my bike. So I would call my neighbor kids, my friends in, and say, here, let me fix your bike. Your legs should be barely bent when the pedal's all the way down, and and just repeating basically what my dad had said to me,
Right.
I'm going to take what he said and teach everybody else. The sad thing is now, though, and my dad's not decrepit or he's maybe got a little bit of memory loss going on, but I'll tell him about great stuff that he taught me, and he'll like, I don't remember teaching you that. Like, trust me, Dad, you did. You taught me that, and I'm so grateful. And he's like, I don't remember doing that. I'm like, Dad, you taught me a lot of stuff. And like when we were driving in the car when I was a kid, not driving age, but a kid, he was a teacher. He was a consummate teacher. He was a company commander in the Army. And so he was constantly teaching his soldiers. And, he's always informing them about how to do things, like you just said with the karate thing, okay, with the premier karate. Those instructors are telling the kids why something is being done, or why you should do something, or how you should put your stance is the reason for this stance, and those kind of things. And that's the way kids are now today too. Having worked in high schools as a security person, these kids don't understand. They don't understand the rules unless you explain them to them. You can't just say, remember when you and I were kids and Mom said, because I said so. And you said, yes, ma'am. He said, don't do that because I said so. Why, Mom? Because I said so. Okay.
See, I didn't settle for that.
Well,
I
did. My dad would say that too, because I told you to. Oh, yes, sir.
Well, sometimes you're just not paying attention or something, and your kid does that, and you're like,
Or like I used to shuffle my feet. Oh my God, my dad hated that, and I hate it now too. Like when my kids shuffle their feet, I'm like, hey, pick up your feet when you walk. Don't shuffle. And they're like going, why? Because I said so.
But you know what the why does?
What's that? It informs them. It educates them.
The why creates the value, which is the focus and the energy.
Okay. Explain.
Well, the why creates the value in what you're doing. If you can't see the value in it,
right, then you don't know why you're doing it.
The why creates the gratitude.
Yeah.
If you don't know why you're doing something, you just think you're doing it, okay, because this person told me to or whatever. But if you are able to create that value, then that's whenever somebody can see the benefit to doing it, and they'll see that it's for their own good. It's not because you're trying to be mean or be a pain in the neck or just want them to do something for you because you said so. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely correct. I think that's an excellent insight. I think that's exactly though what I was talking about as far as kids. They want to know why they have to do certain things, or why And then, like you said, that when you explain the why, then it has value to them,
Yeah.
and they say, okay, that makes sense. I mean, I think I've probably talked about it on this show before, but you say, listen, you got to take your earbuds out of your ears when you're in the hall,
Right.
and they're like, why? Well, because number one, it's disrespectful because a teacher might want to say something to you. And if you ignore them, they don't know you're listening to your music. They just think you're being insolent, and that will get you in trouble. And sorry, even though you're listening to music, that's going to get you in trouble if you don't respond to a teacher because they're an authority here.
Right.
Number two, it's for your safety. What if somebody's came into the school looking to do harm to people, and you're walking away from them, and someone yells to you, "Run!"
Yeah, you're not aware of your surroundings.
You're not aware of your surroundings and what's happening. What's somebody coming up behind you to do you bad, And they're like going, "Well, that's not going to happen." No, maybe not, but it could, and we've seen it happen, so we know it does happen.
Right.
So don't blow that off. Just saying, oh, because that's the nature of a teenager anyway. They don't think anything affects them. They don't think they're gonna get hurt. They don't think
they know everything. So
yeah, they know everything exactly.
I always say, I wish I knew at 46 what you know at 17.
Yes, I do too. What my dad's favorite line was, and you can say this to your daughter someday. I mean, even when she gets older, she said, if she's bitching about something you don't understand, Mom, she goes, you know what? You were right. I was 17, then I was 19, and I was never 18.
Right.
That's what my dad said to me. Oh, you're right, son. I was 12, then I was 14, and I was never 13. I skipped 13. So I have no idea what a 13-year-old's thinking about. It's not the same as when you were young. Oh, okay.
Well, I have a funny story about having to go through an explanation of something that happened in my house for my 9-year-old. And that is my dad's personality type is he notices everything. Like my mom was always like, I could never go shopping and bring home like clothes without him knowing, because he would know, be the type, oh, you got a new shirt, oh, you got your haircut, He's very thoughtful and notices everything. And he comes into my 9-year-old's room and he was like, were you eating popcorn out in the garage? He's like, you're not going to be in trouble, but there was some on the floor. So now he's not telling him why. He's just asking him this question. So my son immediately thinks he's getting in trouble. I wasn't eating popcorn out there, and I didn't leave any on the floor. And he's getting all mad. And my dad's like, you're not in trouble. I'm just asking you. So I heard him talking to my dad that way. I came in the room. I go, why are you so upset, Ryan? He's like, his granddad's asking me 20 questions. I go, look, Dad, why are you asking him about the popcorn in the garage? He's like, well, it was by my treadmill and my treadmill's not working. And he's like, I don't think Ryan did anything, but I just wanted to know if maybe he touched anything or whatever so he could fix his treadmill and like know what happened. And I was like, Ryan, you've seen Scooby-Doo, right? I'm like, Granddad's like Shaggy. I was like, he sees clues, like some popcorn left on the floor. And I was like, and remember the other day when you made slime and you were supposed to clean it all up and you said you did, but then Granddad noticed a couple little pieces on the floor and made you come back out and clean it. I'm like, because you don't notice those little things like he does. I said, he noticed that popcorn that you might not have thought that you left there, but you did. And I'm like, and then the dog was in there. I'm like, so basically just think of Granddad as like Shaggy, and he's trying to fix his treadmill and see what happened. I'm like, and then Buddy the dog is like Scooby-Doo. And my dad goes, well, then who would Brian be? I'm like, he's the guy that you pull the mask off of me at the end.
That's funny. That's
but
funny.
I'll try to.
How did Ryan react to that? Hey, I'm not the bad guy.
No, I mean, it was like once he real understood, like, I told him, I'm like, look, you love your computer. If your computer was broken and you saw something around it, you just investigate because you're trying to figure out what happened.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so once I was able to like say it like that, he was like, oh, okay. He calmed down. He wasn't mad. But it's just funny how to realize what goes on behind conversations. You know, like
and did it turn out that Ryan had gotten onto the treadmill and hit some buttons or something?
We don't know that part yet. I don't know what happened. I never knew the end result. I was just there to solve
the conflict.
Yes.
Yes, I understand. Well, I'm looking at a picture of your wonderful family. You have a beautiful family.
Thank
Lesley.
you.
Yes. And look who's right there in the center of it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I like that. That's the old-timey picture.
Oh, yeah, that one's fun.
Oh, I like that Jim Beam in your hand there. You finished that off.
I polished that off.
Yeah, anyway, that's fun
Do you
stuff.
have Memorial Day plans?
You know, no, I'm going tonight. I'm after my daughter has a birthday party to go to until 8. And God knows how long. I mean, hopefully that'll stop at 8. And then we're driving down to Lake of the Woods where my sister lives, which is out in Gainesville, past Gainesville, out Fredericksburg way, kind of, but further. It's like you go to Fredericksburg, turn right, and go 12 miles. I don't know if you know where Lake of the Woods is, but it's a really, really interesting community. It's a gated community and a lot of retirees, but also a lot of families are also there. And my sister is just like loving it. She's right on the water. I mean, she just loves it. So I'm taking my daughter, that's her favorite aunt. So she's going to spend the weekend with her. I'm just going to take her down and spend the night and come back tomorrow. I don't know how long Madeline's planning on staying down there, but I think Charlotte's going to bring her back on Sunday or Monday, possibly. I don't know which one. Monday. She's probably staying down there till Monday. But no, I don't have any Memorial Day plans. Every year I used to go to my buddy's house over off Zion Drive and we had a ball but you know, they don't live there anymore. And anyway, kind of everything's not really anything going on. I think I'm going to have to fix up my backyard, and next year I'm going to have a big neighborhood Memorial Day party at my place. So I think that's the kind of plan going to be next year. And this year, probably won't do anything. Probably chill out with my wife, my beautiful bride, and my family. Yeah, my daughter is going to be down away, so we won't have any conflict with the son. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, and so we'll hang out. But my son will probably be gaming all day with his buddies, as he loves to do that. And he loves hanging out with us too. But he likes to come out of his room and start telling us stuff. Like we'll be out there watching a TV show or something. He'll just come walking out talking.
Well, it's funny. One time I had this this little cartoon thing that I found, and it was, you know, the mom going, "You need to go outside and play." And there was this kid that had the remote control right outside their window then. Yeah. It was like, sent it to my
game. Yeah, his game. Like, yeah.
That's you.
That sounds like something I would do. I'm like playing Wii outside.
Yeah.
Bowling. Anyway, that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're winding down. And this has just been a good catch-up day because I've been talking to you. So next week we'll get a little bit more focused on something to encourage everybody.
More wise behind.
We were encouraging each other today. So yeah, that's it. So
that's where the energy is going to come from.
That's right. Oh, you give me lots of energy. I appreciate you. You're awesome. All right. Well, have a great weekend. What are your plans for Memorial Day?
Well, I'm going to Busch Gardens as my main
that's
thing.
right. That's right.
So that's my.
Now, do you guys go down and spend the night and go in there?
We're not. But
yeah, I have family down there.
Probably should. It would be probably a lot easier on us. But
yeah. Well, we always I have a very good close friend who we get the friends and family rate at the Marriott stuff. So we can get a room for $50.
That's awesome.
Like the Fairfield Inn or whatever, and that's worth it. You know, you go down there on Friday evening, check in the motel, hotel, whatever, crash, get up, have pre-breakfast in the morning,
right,
and then haul your butt to Busch Gardens and Water Country or whatever else is down there, and have a ball. And we'll probably do that several times this summer.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, and I have good friends that are there. I have a friend who's my closest friend, the friend I've known the longest. We were born together in Germany, 1 month apart, Our parents
cool.
are best friends, still are. They're my godparents, and my parents are her godparents. And she's one of the vice presidents at William and Mary. So
Oh,
she's
awesome.
in charge. She's a student affairs vice president or dean or whatever the term is. It's vice president, but it's like a dean. She's
Vice president to you. No,
vice president to me. That's exactly right. So she was my womb mate, and we've been friends forever, and I just love her to death. And but she's I'm so proud of her. She's like this close to being the president of the place. I don't know if she's ever aspiring to do that or not, but yeah, it's cool. And it's, of course, the school is,
Yeah, that's an amazing school.
One of the most
my good friends
well-respected
goes
schools.
there.
Yeah.
One of my good friends went there for law school, I think. So.
Oh, cool. Where's your daughter going to go to school?
She's going to Mason.
Nice. That's good. Mason's a very, very well-respected school as well.
Yeah.
I think she ought to do it for 2 years and then go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
She's
cool.
actually...
that's good for her heart and good for her growing process is to go away by herself.
Of independence, like realizing you can make it on your own, like create your own life.
Yeah, and the contacts that you build up and the people that you meet that become lifelong friends is huge. It's huge.
The more perspectives that you have,
absolutely,
on life. Yeah,
that's exactly. We got about a minute left. That's what I told the kid at Manassas Park. I said to him, so where are you going to be going to school? He goes, oh, I'm not going to school, Mr. Bailey. I said, why? Because I knew he was a good student. I knew he was he had his cord for honor roll and all that kind of AP and all that stuff. And I said, so why aren't you going to college? And he said, well, because I'm going to take over my dad's business. His dad does escalators, like one of 2 companies in the whole Washington metropolitan area that repair escalators. So they stay busy year round, and they make good money. And I said, well, that's not why you go to college necessarily to get a job. You already have a job. So that. Go to college for the social aspect. Go to college to meet people and broaden your horizons. You need to broaden your view of what the world is, and you can do that by going to college. I didn't get to go to except for the local college, so I didn't go off to go to school anywhere, and I regret it. I wish I had. Wish I'd done better in high school and gone off to school somewhere, but I see the value in it so much, and you don't have to go out to California. You can go somewhere Mason, somewhere close, but you get to meet so many more people and diversity. And that's so important in today's age. Yeah. So anyway, all right, it's wonderful. I'm going to cut out of here. You can take that phone call.
I will. All right.
Love you. See you later. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. See you next week. All right. Take care. There she goes, ladies and gentlemen. One of the bright lights in this world, Miss Lesley Salmon. She's awesome. And that's it for us.